everybody, welcome to Wild Boy Movies, the place to talk movies. And today, we're going to be reviewing Piece by Piece, the documentary of Pharrell Williams told with Lego pieces. Right now I'm going to have some information up on screen for you to read, like director, runtime, and PAA rating. All of that will be up on screen for you to read right now. But be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on Piece by Piece. But without further ado, let's get right into the pros. Alright, starting off, I gotta praise the Lego animation in this movie because yes, this movie is no longer with Warner Brothers, it is now over at Universal, and this movie was made under their subsidiary division Focus Features, and I felt like in terms of the Lego animation for Universal, I thought they did a pretty good job with it. Like, they kept, like, the stop-motion, like, feel of the movie. But unlike something like the first Lego movie, you can clearly tell that this was animated on a computer instead of it feeling like that they actually filmed it in a stop-motion style. And I thought that some of the animation sequences of this movie really shine in terms of like telling Pharrell's story. And in speaking of the story, I thought the story told here was very well, and it's essentially, yeah, the life of Pharrell Williams and how he got into the music industry. And I found it to be very interesting because I knew very little about Pharrell Williams, so when I found out that he was part of a band called the Neptunes, I was completely surprised that because I didn't even know that fact, and his story worked very well in terms of this story. Like, they go through several points of Pharrell's career, whether that be his high points or his low points. I thought they tackled Pharrell's story in here very well. And since Pharrell is a musician, you expect some of his songs that he made or collaborated with to appear in this movie, and this movie has a pretty good selection of songs to make the soundtrack for the movie, and some of them are pretty good enough to be added to like my Apple playlist, like Snoop Dogg's Drop It Like It's Hot, or even Kendrick Lamar's Alright. There were a bunch of pretty good songs in here that I liked, and even more with the new songs that Pharrell has created for the movie, like Piece by Piece, the original song for the movie, I thought is a pretty good song, and pretty good for like this movie's theme. And when I say that, I mean the movie's theme song. And I also liked how some of these other musicians fit into this movie, like Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Busta Rhymes. Like, I felt like that they had like a good enough reason to be in this movie because they collaborated with Pharrell in the past, and they told like their side of meeting Pharrell and their involvement with how he helped with their songs, and I felt like that was a pretty cool thing that they did, considering that, yes, this is a documentary, so you will have other people, like, in part of this documentary, telling who is directing them about this specific person or thing that's being documented, and I felt like that they chose a pretty good lineup of people to choose to interview because of their involvement with Pharrell in the past. But lastly, I gotta go ahead and praise the fact that this is a Lego movie. Now, when this movie was announced, I thought that this movie was like a biopic on Pharrell Williams. So, come to surprise that whenever this trailer came out, it was revealed to be a documentary. I was like, this was something that I did not expect, but I'm completely open to checking out because if this was like a regular documentary, I probably wouldn't have checked this movie out, but because of the fact that it is a documentary told in the style of Lego animation, I wanted to go ahead and check it out to see what that even would be like. And I thought they did a pretty good job with that because I do feel like that this has gotta be like the best documentary that I've ever seen because I'm not that big into like documentaries and stuff. So it wouldn't be too much of a surprise for me to say that this is the best documentary that I've ever seen. But even if I have seen like other documentaries before, this would still probably be like the best documentary I've seen because I was captivated with the story. I really liked the story that they told, plus the fact that it was also told with Lego animation, something that we've never seen in terms of documentaries before. This could be completely game-changing for how a documentary is told, and not just for being in a Lego animation, but maybe for other things, like maybe one day we could get a biopic of, I don't know, someone told through Play-Doh or someone told through Crayola drawings, although that's kind of been done with the Draw My Life story trend on YouTube. But the point is, I feel like that this movie being in a Lego animation while also being a documentary could also be big in terms of how documentaries could be told in the near future. Because like I said earlier, the fact that this was a documentary told in Lego animation was the whole reason that I wanted to go ahead and check this movie out. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. This would be a movie that I'd be perfectly fine with watching again, and I don't really have that much cons to say with the movie. The only thing I can really say that is a con is that the movie sometimes feels like it's dragging on a bit, but that's kind of like a minor nitpick because I can overlook that because of the great Lego animation, the great story, and the great perfect uses of the songs that Pharrell has made or was involved with, makes this like a very creative documentary that I would want to see more of in the future. So for my scorecard, I'm gonna give Piece by Piece 4.5 stars, with the score out of 10 being 9.5 out of 10, with the percentage being 95%, with a grade of A, with my final verdict being the most creative documentary ever made. But that was my review on Piece by Piece. I want to hear from you guys. What are your guys' thoughts on this movie? Go ahead and leave that down in the comments section. And while you're at it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. And have a great day.